Alright, the second modeling we're going to do backwards. We're going to start with Amaya and then go to Suki after that. So Amaya has the purple. The color I use for this is called Quinacridone Crimson #1 from Bountiful Baby. It's trying to take video of the face and I can't get it to focus on my color. Silly. So this is a color I use a lot from a lot of my babies too. Preemies, Caucasians, Asians. I think Anna even uses it on ethnics, so this is a good stable color that you'll use for a lot of babies, so invest in it if you haven't got one. This color is going to be even more watery than our purple was. I don't know if you can see how liquidy it looks in there. There's hardly any paint in there. You don't want it too thick or it's going to make the baby look like it's been beaten to death, and that just looks bad. Alright, so I'm going to try it on the back of this neck and see what it looks like and see if it's dark enough. If not, I'm going to add a titch more. Can you see? It's just added just a hint of pink, and that's what I want. So this is a perfect color. Alright, so this is good enough. I'm going to carry on with this little face. You can kind of see as it's layering the depth that it's creating with the purples and the veins underneath, mixed with the bare spots and the purples. I like to rotate my sponge around when I'm doing this, so I'm not just doing it in a cookie cutter. I end up with little square shapes all over the head. I'm going to do it everywhere except for the lips again. The inside of her head is super slippery. I'm not really sure. It kind of feels like there's oil or something on the inside of her vinyl. Ooh, hold still, baby. Oh, she's gonna be cute. Ooh, she's so cute. Alright, so Amaya. I'll do an arm and a leg, and then I'll move over to Suki again. No, it's a Suki, so we'll start with an arm. And the only place I'm not doing this again is on the nail beds. And again, on every single doll I ever do, I really try very hard to start at the hands and the feet and then work my way up to the flange so that you have something to hold on to. These bigger ones are definitely necessary. Thankfully they have a big flange to hold on to because they get bouncy if you get too far away from where you're holding. Okay. Hoping you can see the definition and the detail and the depth on this. Alright, one arm and one leg. Part on the voice, it's Pandora's commercials. These little cuties are going to be super fun to dress up for Christmas. I don't do very many bigger babies just because I get a lot of customs on the smaller ones. So when I get to do these ones, it just kind of marvels in my little brain of marvelousness of the scale and how big the sculptor, how much clay they had to use to sculpt these pieces and parts. They're fun to bring to life and they're fun to dress, especially because there's lots more clothing to choose from. But oh, look, see, I got too much red on that, so I'm going to come in and touch that until it comes off on those two spots. Something didn't go right. Must have touched a dark spot. Something didn't get dissolved inside the jar properly or something. Okay. Now I'm going to come in on Suki. This is a nice color for her too. Pushed too hard there and got a little soppy. Okay, one little head done. I'm going to do an arm and a leg, and then I'm going to cook these guys. And I'm going to do, oh, shiznit. Okay. If you ever do that, you squeeze and squeeze and squeeze until you can get all your drippies out. Because you don't want to use that much paint. And I do have tissue or toilet paper or paper towel over there so I can dry this off. Mottling sponges are only good as long as they're not so saturated that they absorb all the stuff and then they turn into a hot mess of crazy. So if that's the case, you just soak all the extra out and keep going. It's not that complicated. It almost looks like it is brighter pink than it was before. I think I'm going to add a little bit more of this before I carry on because I'm afraid squeezing all that color back in there might have darkened it up more than I want it. Much better. So that lesson was stay attuned to your working environment and make sure that if something does happen that you don't just carry on. You gotta reevaluate and readjust your colors if it's necessary. Who knew all that paint was still stored in my sponge? So this particular set of tutorials for this week and probably all the way through next week, I'm going to be working on these Asian babies. And when I'm done with these ones, I will actually be switching gears and turning my attention to some fantasy tutorials. I have a Draken kit, custom, and a Lucian kit, custom, that I'm going to do tutorials on. So those will be fun and different, and I've never done them before, so you'll get to see, if you choose to watch them, using thicker paints and layering really thick, bold colors. I'm excited to paint another Draken. I actually sculpted and produced Draken myself, so I'm excited to paint him. I've only painted one so far, so I'm excited to get to paint him again. I should paint one for myself to keep here, but I sold the one that I did paint, so that was a dumb thing to do. Thankfully I have a small stock left so that I can paint them whenever I want, and because I have all kinds of colors that I'm excited to try. Alright, so I have 2 heads, 2 arms, and 2 legs done. I'm going to do the rest off camera, and then I will come back after I get them in the oven and get them baked and get their eyeballs in. I'll show you putting their eyeballs in. They're each getting a really pretty brown pair of eyes. I think they're exactly the same color, but one is 18 and one is 24 millimeter. So you'll get to see those going in their heads, and then we'll carry on from there.